Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to GW Center for Integrative Medicine podcast. I have a super special guest today. His name is Karl, and it just gives me so much pleasure to have him here with us. I met Karl on Facebook. We're both avid skiers, and that's what we're going to talk a lot. And I just was scrolling Facebook one day through one of my favorite skiing communities, and I saw him being at the 99th skiing resort of his life, skiing there. And I said, oh my goodness, he's 80 plus and he's still skiing and he's done 100 resorts almost. I got to talk to this man. Now he's here, so I'm so excited. Karl, thanks so much for coming. Let's start with some basics. How old are you?
I was 87 2 months ago.
Amazing. And you're still skiing. You just finished the season, right? We're in March and you just finished the skiing.
Yeah, but the ski season was very short. We only had 2 months of skiing in the Midwest.
Uh-huh.
Our home mountain outside Chicago was only open for 2 months approximately.
Uh-huh.
And a week and a half ago, Sunday, March 3rd, whatever it was 70 degrees and we skied in slush. And I never came home with 30 skis because we skied over grass once in a while. Never had to do that to hose them down, and the ski boots as well. But it's been a bad season.
Yeah, well, global warming and it's getting harder to ski. So let's go back because, you've been skiing for more than 30 years, right? You've been skiing for like 40 years.
Oh, total?
Yeah, total.
Since I was 87, I would say I've been skiing since age 7, 8.
So you've been skiing for 80 years.
80 years. I skied probably, I'm not quite sure, in 1944, still during World War II. For some reason, we had military skis from the German army that ended up on our farm in Austria somehow. We used those. They were simple wooden skis. They broke easily. I know, I remember I broke a pair once. And I've been skiing ever since. And in Austria, quite a few resorts. And the statement, 100 ski resorts lifetime worldwide. I wanted to ski 100 just in North America. I could add probably 20 Austrian resorts that I skied in the 50s, 40s, 50s. 58, I came here, and like I said, I missed the first 2 winters in Chicago because nobody knew about Wilmot Mountain until we discovered it in 1960. That was the beginning of my skiing career in this country.
So,
and we have a racing series.
1960 plus 64. You've been skiing in the United States for 64 years, everybody. 64 every season, not missing a single season.
No. And what happened was we have a CMS, it's called the CMSC, Chicago Metropolitan Ski Council. We have an excellent racing series. At one time, we had like 110 member ski clubs. That is down to 70 now. Everything is shrinking. There was a ski club at one time with 1,100 members. The club is gone completely. Skiing is on a decline. And I was honored last winter, a year ago, for having participated in the racing series for 60 seasons in a row without interruptions.
In 2013, right? You won the first place in US in that race that you're talking about, right?
In 2013?
Wasn't it 2013 you said you won the race?
I was just a NASA champion, a US champion in my age group, but that was only the gold division.
I love how you say just US champion.
Yeah, I wanted to be in the platinum this division, and I participated twice. And every time I participated in the platinum division, I ended up second. Because this one fella, James Cooper Black, when he shows up, I know he will win. So I was invited again for the NASA championship coming up in 3 weeks or so, out in Snowmass, Aspen. And I'm not sure if I should go or not. I have nobody to come along with me. My wife passed away 2 years ago, unfortunately. That changed everything quite a bit. I always say I have no future because I don't know where I belong. I have absolutely no relatives in this country. I have lots of relatives in Austria, but after 60 years or so to blend in again is extremely difficult.
Mm.
Because I heard of people who came back again. They could not acclimatize anymore. They didn't fit in anymore. It's not like it was 60, 70 years ago.
Right.
They have nothing in common, no common conversations.
Do you guys have kids? You've had
Pardon?
kids? Do you have kids?
No, I don't. Never had. No. So it's a very sad situation that I'm in, but I have to get going. I cannot give up. The
Mhm.
worst part always is I tell everybody coming home, entering the house, and there's no one to talk to. You cannot tell anybody, hey, I ran into Dr. Kogan. I saw so-and-so in the shopping center. This and that happened. Nothing, no conversations. And I have a tendency not to call too many people. People complain, well, we never hear from you. Well, what should I do? I had a doctor once, a Dr. Stachel from Innsbruck, Austria. He was my doctor. And we had a long conversation at one time after he retired. He told me I should stop whining. I was talking too much about the loss of his wife. And that taught me a lesson. Since then, I don't make too many phone calls anymore because I may have had a tendency to whine, complain about this and that and so and so. And he told me that.
Mm.
And as a doctor, I guess he shouldn't have said that. I don't know. But it was some shock to me, it seemed to me, as we ended the phone conversation. He moved up to Traverse City, Michigan. And at the end of the conversation, he told me that, Karl, stop being an Austrian whiner, something like that. Ein Jammerer.
Wow.
Ich jammer. Ich bin ein Jammerer. So, but no, I'm not
Yeah.
angry because of
Well,
that.
I think with age, there are always losses. I'm looking at my parents and they still have each other, but I see that they lost almost. And my mom is your age and my dad is a year older than you. So, well, actually,
Yeah.
no, you're 88 now, right?
I'm in my 88. I
Yeah.
was 87.
So you're and my dad are the same age. My dad just turned 88 a month ago.
Yeah.
And so, I see that they still have each other, but they lost almost all their friends because they outlived them, most of their
Yeah. Yeah.
friends. So, I mean, yeah, that's part of there's a lot of losses as we get older.
Sure,
So,
sure, but it
but,
does not. It,
but you're still skiing.
yeah, it does not affect my skiing. No, not at all. I'm still as aggressive as I can be, and I ski well. I not a very religious person, but I always say at the end of a ski season or after a great skiing day down at the bottom, you make the last turn, the stopping turn. I always say, thank you, Almighty, for a great day we had. I had no injuries, and
You
I
know
even
what's
do on
funny?
top.
You know what's funny? I say exactly the same thing.
You do?
Exactly the same because
Really? Yeah.
when I was, yeah, I mean, I never competed this way. I competed when I was much younger, and I never competed in slalom. I only competed in downhill, but this was decades ago. And here I don't compete. I don't have enough time to train, but I do go fast, and I always wonder, at some point when you go fast and if you fall, that could be pretty bad, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
dangerous sport. So that's why I always say at the end of the day, whether I'm alone or most of the time I ski
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
I have two boys and we ski together. They
Uh, uh,
snowboard, I ski.
snowboarders. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I say if they ended with no injuries, thank God,
Exactly.
blessed. Exactly.
And even on top of the mountain, and people don't believe me. You really say that? If it's a beautiful super day, I say this one is going to be for my wife at that time. This run is going to be for Dr. Kogan. He treated me well. And I make a super run and I say if I'm not happy, I do it over again. So, and people are amazed. They say, I never heard that before from anybody. And, yeah, I do that. I do that. Sometimes I forget to say that at the top of the mountain, halfway down. Oh yeah, this one is for so and so. Or with the little hills we go up dozens of times, I can repeat the same thing, So So that's me. It's it's my nature, and so yeah.
How
White.
did you, so you were skiing since kid. Was your wife skier too?
My wife was a skier, yeah, and one thing that I very proud of, she was a much slow skier. I
Uh-huh.
always had to wait for her. I never told her, "Well, could you ski a little bit fast? Because of you, I'm not getting the runs in that I want to get in." I never said that because she was the best wife. She always cooked for me. Like I had the best food. Well, how could I say that to her? Because of you, I'm not getting the daily runs in that I normally would get in without you. So so I'm sort of proud of that I've never said something like that.
That's good. That's good.
Because many times I skied down, it was much faster. I come to a stop, now I have to wait. Oh, come on, honey, come down. Now she is down by me. Now she has to take a short break, and then it keeps going the long mountains that out in Aspen or wherever we skied. So
Mhm.
yeah,
So you never broke a
no,
single bone in your body.
nothing.
Despite you've been racing, and I assume you had
Yeah,
falls, right? You had falls. You had to have falls.
I've been racing all my life, pretty much,
Been
I would
racing all your
say.
life, and of course I mean, how often do you think you fall? Once a day when you ski a leg?
No, I say I had even seasons without the spill.
Mm-hmm.
I hardly ever crashed. I had one fall over in Michigan
Mm-hmm.
at Swiss Valley. Was poor conditions. NASCAR racing and very poorly set up. Deep ruts, soft snow alongside.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't fall too often. No, I never injured myself seriously. Uh, yeah, a few, whatever, so and so.
Amazing. All right.
Nothing serious.
Let's talk about something that I'm sure listeners are going to be interested in. Do you have any particular diet? What do you eat?
Any what?
Particular diet. What do you like to eat?
I stupid phone's ringing. I'm on meals on wheels.
Okay.
Oh wait, this is my stupid. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Take your time. All right. So um I think I said that the way I found Karl was just happenstance on the Facebook. I just
I'm on
uh-huh.
meals on wheels for 3 years now. It's a very bland diet,
Mm.
which was recommended by my doctors. I have a cardiologist. I take blood pressure medications, and based upon that, I should be getting this particular diet. And
So
I
you're getting the cardiac diet based on a recommendation from
yeah,
a cardiologist, and
which
you get it from Meals on.
which I really don't need. All my numbers at doing the last exam were perfect. I at one time was high on cholesterol, like 15 years ago. I reduced that drastically down to that I stopped taking the medication, levothyroxine, rosuvastatin. I did
How did you reduce your cholesterol without medication?
just did it. I used to eat my double cheese hamburgers once a week, you know.
You cut that out.
I cut that out 15 years ago when the doctor's nurse called and said on the phone, Karl, you're a bad boy. Why? And
Amazing.
so, doctor, I did some with rosuvastatin. I was prescribed 5 milligrams a day.
Mhm.
And I went to a local Arlington Heights facility where they tested your cholesterol. You could go 4 times a month if you wanted to. And I paid $10. And the numbers were reduced immediately. Perfect numbers. I cut the pill in half, took the half pill, the 2.5 milligrams every day. Still, I went back to the same place to have my blood tested. The numbers were again perfect. I cut the pill again in half. Now it's a quarter pill, 1.25 milligrams. I took that little quarter pill every day, went back 2 months later, had my blood tested. The numbers were absolutely perfect. And then I took the quarter pill every other day, and the numbers were still okay. Perfect. Just 2 weeks ago, during my regular annual exam, months ago, a doctor mentioned, why don't you stop it completely? So I stopped that pill,
Mhm.
and I will go for a test in a few weeks and see what the cholesterol will be. And I'm sure it's going to be perfect.
So
So it
you're
was,
so you're only taking blood pressure pills at this point.
I take only blood pressure pills, and oh, I take allopurinol for the urine
Uh-huh. For the gout.
because it was high in uric acid
Mhm.
years ago, but it's all controlled.
Mhm.
All my numbers, the last test, it was in January, in fact, came absolutely perfect. The doctor is happy with my kidney function because I had a tendency not to drink water.
Mhm.
And when we grew up in Austria, nobody knew that you were supposed to drink water. We sweated in Chicago here playing soccer when it was 90 degrees, 95 degrees. Nobody drank any water. We didn't know that. And then that thing came along, eight ounces of water every day. Well, I started to drink more and more, and the kidney functions improved.
Hmm.
But still, my problem is I'm not thirsty all day. I
Yeah,
have no,
so that's very important. You mentioned that not being thirsty, that's normal when people get over a certain age. When people get over
yeah,
65, the thirst disappears. So it's just important you force yourself to drink, even when you
yeah. And then many times at the end of the day in the evening, oh my gosh, I didn't drink any water. Then you drink some water, then you get up 2, 3 times during the night. It's no good.
right. You got to drink your water before.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yep. So
So otherwise, I'm okay. I'm 100%, I would say, not
So
100%, but
you're following your doctor's advices. You have a great
yeah,
medical team, sounds like it. They keep you very good and healthy. Obviously, your exercise is skiing.
skiing, yeah.
What do you do
And
in the summer when there is no skiing?
in the summertime, Dr. Kogan, I'm a big time. You know what a glider pilot is?
Yeah, sure.
Flying a sailplane. I've been into aviation since 1968.
Wow.
I had all along my own gliders, my high performance ships. And I worked during the summer, I would say, cutting the grass on the runway, around the trailers, doing this and doing that. That was my daily routine. Plus, I have a big property at home, cutting the grass. They say that's as good as walking 2 miles every other day, whatever they say, you know. So I'm not, I don't feel guilty. I am active, I would say, and flying gliders, pushing gliders around, doing this is always a lot of work to do at the airport and whatever had to be done. I was very active. As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, the president asked me, John, Karl, are you sure you're over 80? I said, yeah, I'm 83. I was at that time. You want to see my birth certificate? because no, because I was as active as a 30-year-old kid. Glider club member. So
You're not exercising, right? You don't have any exercise routine. You
no, I got rid of my treadmill. I sold it all. I after I quit playing soccer and at age 31,
uh-huh,
we started to play tennis, our ski club.
uh-huh.
For 20 years, we had our teams. We played during the week, regular basis, and I don't feel guilty. I was active and skiing in the wintertime. I love it. I also have one big accomplishment, Dr. Kogan.
Uh-huh.
If you ever heard of skiing the 1 million vertical feet at Jackson Hole,
Oh, wow. Wow.
and that is the equivalent of 242 tram rides.
Wow.
It's not only tram rides. You can use the gondola or the chairlifts,
Uh-huh.
but adding it up, I exceeded. I have 1,061,000 vertical feet. Translated, that's vertical. Translated that at, say, a 20-degree slope,
Uh-huh.
came out to be 190 miles of skiing.
Uh-huh.
That's, yeah, that's what it is. And No, it's more than that.
No. Yeah, it's a million. It should be more than 1,000,000 miles.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm into stuff like that. I'm not the Bodie Miller or so. I call it garbage sports. That's what I participate in.
Well, but it was never your profession. You're just
Yeah.
enjoying this. Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, I totally get it. Look, I love it. I think skiing is amazing sport. It's
yeah,
it's outside. It's very physical. It's also very technical. It's also very mind based because you have to be in a very balanced mind state. It's also very like you have to be aware of everything on a mountain. One wrong move and you're
yeah, yeah.
so
Well,
it's a complex sport. It is very technical. It's becoming quite expensive, so unfortunately it's not affordable for certain people. But
yeah,
actually I think after retirement, after 65, a lot of the ticket prices go down a bit, right?
yeah. Senior tickets, they are available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how are you financing it now? You
How
buy you buy a seasonal pass
I
for
bought the Epic
Epic.
local pass, the Wilmot local pass. I paid $400 and I skied Wilmot Mountain 10 times, so it came out to be $40 a day. If you can do that, $40 isn't bad. But
Correct.
I feel sorry for the people that don't have a pass. They pay $89 or $99 a day. You hear about Vail, $239.
I
So
know.
it's unbelievable.
Crazy. Yeah. Let me see how many I skied because we have this we actually have a app that records all of our
Oh
runs.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's called slopes. So this season, this was not a great season. Actually, my lifetime vertical on the app is 353 kilometers.
350 kilometers
Yeah,
divided by
but
one
that's
point.
just for the past 6 seasons.
What pass do you have?
Well, we get Epic Pass here in Northeast.
Epic?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and let's see, and it looks like this season we've done. All right, look. Does this work here? Okay, so I have to just 12 days. So I got 12 days, 160 runs this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was because we skied for 5 days in Verbier in Switzerland.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, Verbier, yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise I skied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times here in. We have a mountain called Whitetail Resort. Actually, when I saw the Facebook post, it says Whitetail Ridge, and I
Yeah.
thought it was Whitetail Resort. But it's Whitetail Ridge. It's a different mountain.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes, I was like, oh my God, he's here. I'm gonna go find him. But then I realized, wait a second, he is completely different look.
Well, what's interesting, that resort is right next to Fort McCoy or Camp McCoy, which was Wisconsin had like 25 to 30 World War II prisoner camps for German prisoners.
Huh.
Fort McCoy was one of the biggest prisons up there in Wisconsin. And I bought the book, Stalag, Wisconsin, and it mentions all the episodes that the local people had with the German prisoners. And it's the most interesting book ever. Like one instance was when a blackguard was in charge of about a half a dozen of German prisoners working the fields because the farmers' sons served in World War II overseas, so they needed the help. And after the shift was done, they all went to a tavern, and the German prisoners got their beer served, and the blackguard didn't get anything.
Wow.
That was you should read that book. It's an incredible book. It's gosh, it's all the episodes and a lot of prisoners met local farmers. What's your name? Oh, my name is Schmidt. So is my name. Then they found out that they were related.
Huh.
That the farmers came over maybe 150 years ago, and they met by coincidence. Most interesting book.
Wow. Wow.
And this is Dr. Kogan. This is the book that my lady friend wrote.
Stay in the game. Yeah. Oh yeah, you were
Yeah,
telling me about that on a phone call.
yeah, I mentioned it. Yeah, she's a nice,
She's also a
educated.
skier, right?
She is a good skier.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she tore her ACL
Oh,
a year ago, still recovering, and common injury.
right.
Terrible when you have that. Yeah.
So let me ask you hard questions. You know, you mentioned a couple of maybe 20 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago that, you know, since your wife passed, it's been lonely. What do you look for every morning when you wake up? What keeps you going?
In the morning,
Yeah.
I, gosh, there's always something to do. I have plans every so often. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Sure, you gotta have a program during the day. You always emphasized in life that you gotta have something to look forward to. Like going on a vacation. Oh, we went to Australia 3 times.
Australia.
Something big to look forward to.
Mhm.
If you just live alone with no nothing, that's bad. You shouldn't do that. That's my opinion. In the morning when I get up, yeah, I have jobs to do. It's amazing what like this morning I worked on the picture. I framed that picture that you came across. And I had to redo it a little bit. That took me 1, 2 hours filling around. I have the tools down in the basement to do this and do that and so on. So, and I was always active, always. I not every day the same plan. No, whatever comes along, whatever had to be finished. Sure, I get up. I saw the laundry bag, the laundry basket that got to be washed. So you have things to do. I am
You
busy.
keep yourself busy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm not sitting there not doing anything. No, I watch TV in the evening, news mainly, politics, very interesting right now.
All right, we
And
don't talk politics on this channel.
no, we don't talk politics. No, we lost good friends because of that.
Yeah. Um, so what gives you meaning? What keeps you going? What gives your life meaning right now that you're 88?
Well, I say right now, I just live alone. I really have no big plans because I don't know what to do. I cannot go back to Austria.
Mhm.
Even though all my relatives tell me, why don't you come home? But I say, I really have no future. I must say that because I don't know what people I'm meeting for lunch every Thursday, a German group, a German club. And this one particular guy, Karl, you got to find yourself a lady friend, a girlfriend. Well, you can't do that. I couldn't do that. Not now. I would always, if I would find a nice lady, I would bring her home. I always tell everybody it wouldn't take long. She would take the house away from me, or or I would always make comparison. Well, my wife didn't do that. Why do you do it this way? Why don't you turn the water off when you're brushing your teeth? I
Mhm.
was very, I was a pain around my wife. And at the beginning, after you get married, it takes a while to have the guts to say something that you don't like your driving habits.
Mhm.
I totally lost a friend, a lady friend that I worked with, because she was hogging the left lane, the passing lane on an interstate 2 months ago. I said, Cassie, why do you do that? You're supposed to switch over into the driving lane. Well, I'm going my speed limit, she says. Well, if somebody wants to go 100 miles, you better get out of his way. No matter what. I was a nuisance, but
Do
I
you,
just
so you remind me, what were you doing professionally your whole life?
I was a machinist.
Do you think that being a machinist has to do with this kind of way?
Probably, because everything had to be precise. When I started my
Yeah.
job, my first one in '58, the company that I worked for McDonnell Douglas, aircraft type work for the Phantom F4C jets. We made parts, and
Mhm.
everything had to meet the print. There was no deviation. If the part didn't meet the print, it was scrap. And
Hmm.
because of that, you had to be very precise. Exactly, everything had to be right on.
You definitely remind me of my father, who was he was an engineer in Russia. Everything had
Yeah,
to be precise.
yeah. No, that we are. It's very. It's no matter machine shop work. It's I felt guilty just working in a machine shop, but every job was the the sequence of operation. How do you start the job? You order the material. You have the blueprint here. It's a block of aluminum, whatever. Now you have to machine it. What do you do first? Sequence of operations and so on, so on. And I was, I'd say, a very good machinist. My
Hmm.
boss kept me out of the military because we worked for the government. I had occupational deferments for many years in a row. But when I turned 30, it came to an end. I was too old anyway to serve the military. I would have liked to go in a way. Probably would have ended up in Germany, someplace like many of my buddies.
Hmm.
Some stayed in Germany, some came back again. So this is my life. I mean, yeah, no big plans right now. I'm looking forward to the sewing season. That's, if you know what it's, flying cross country.
Soaring, you said? Oh no,
Yeah,
I don't. No, no, tell us. Tell me.
cross country, you can, if you have a high performance glider with a good high performance,
Mhm.
a good glide ratio, say 40-1, that means you could glide theoretically 40 miles per vertical mile in smooth air, which never happens. But
Mhm.
early in the spring, with a cloud base up at 8,000, 10,000 feet, sometimes in the Midwest, I would fly up to Lake Geneva, the lake region, over to Wilmot Mountain, up to Alpine Valley, ski resorts, looking over, and fly over to Fort Atkins and be up in the air for 3-4 hours,
Wow.
and having flown 200 miles maybe on good days. And this was my really something to look forward to. The weekend, any day during the week since I retired. This is
How old were you when you retired?
when what?
How old were you when you retired?
I was 66, 20 years ago.
So 20 years ago, 22 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. And I was self-employed the last 15 years or so. I had the opportunity to start out on my own, all by myself. I had a big CNC machine, if you know what it is, computer-operated machine. You program the machine, it tells the machine, the control tells the machine what to do, the cutting moves, the milling, this and that, and so tool changes, drilling, tapping, whatever had to be done. And I loved it very much. I had a good customer who gave me all the jobs, all the work that I could handle myself. And I would not have been a good boss. I had no employees. I could not have handled a person. When you quote a job, Dr. Kogan, you quote there, well, so and so, the customer wants to have a price. You figure, oh, it's going to take you whatever time. Now you give it to a guy, and it takes him twice as long, or he screws it up and has to start all over again. I couldn't take that. I could not have taken that. But some employees, they don't care. I'll scrap a piece, we'll make it over again because they don't know what the job was quoted for. Say you're getting it to $500. Well, you do it over again, the profit is gone. You're not making any money. I could not have handled that. Because of that, I criticized my bosses many times, and one guy yelled at me once, well, Karl, you want to take over? You can have my position. He said, no, you keep it. so, so that's my nature. I'm a
Next year, next season, next winter, not next year, next skiing season, you're definitely going to cross 100 because you have only
yeah.
one resort left, right?
I'm in touch with a good lady friend. She's a big time NASCAR skier. You know what NASCAR is?
No, no.
NASCAR. No, and you have to get going in that racing series. It
National,
stands for National Standards Race. National Standards Race, NASDAQ. It's public racing. It's a big, huge nationwide program. And there are many, many ski resorts. Again, everything is dwindling. There used to be over 100 resorts participating. Now it's down, I counted recently 72. You go there, they are simplified courses. They have a forerunner with a certain handicap. And then you go, and based on your time, you will be classified in the bronze, beginners, silver, gold, or platinum division. As you work yourself up, you may end up in the silver eventually, gold, and bronze.
Is it a slalom or down, or is it a down?
It's like a GS, it's a wide open course.
Oh,
Just,
okay. So
it's not banging, not banging the poles, bang, bang. No, 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 no.
Okay, perfect.
It's open for everybody. And
just go as fast as you can.
It's a fun program. It's a big, big program. It used to be big, and I am thinking about going to the national contest out in Snowmass, but I don't know how to get there. It's awkward to get into Aspen. You have to fly into Denver, then take a bus or rent a car or fly into Aspen, which is very expensive. And where do you stay? Everything is ridiculously high.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay $300-400 a night. So I'll be next year, the resort number 100. This lady friend, she's a super NASDAQ skier, Nancy Simpson. She got married, now her name is Owen, and her husband, they're a big time NASDAQ skier. It's like a community. And I got to meet her 10 years ago out in Aspen at the championship, national championship. I met her up at Crystal Mountain in Michigan 4 years ago at the regional championship where she showed up. And I placed second in my age group behind Richard Wagner. And he stated on Facebook, I was very proud having beaten this Austrian skier, Karl Landl. So it's big fun. And NASDAQ, you pay $10 or 12, 15 for unlimited runs. If you just want to take 2 rounds, you pay 7, 8, maybe 10 maximum. And based upon your time, you're being classy, and you get your medal. You get all your NASDAQ medals. I just updated it before. Can you see these? They're.
Oh, wow. Wow.
These are all platinum at the bottom. Before, there was only gold was the top division. Now they added platinum. And I ran all these since 1971 up at Mount Telemark, Wisconsin.
Wow.
And that lady is a very nice lady. And she's going to visit me someday with her husband. And so NASDAQ, yeah. And number 100. She mentioned Mount Cato. I looked at that mountain. It's in Minnesota, southwest of Minneapolis. That could be number 100. It's also a NASDAQ resort.
Is it? So, it's on Epic?
Pardon?
It's on Epic? It's an Epic mountain?
I don't know if they belong to Epic. They don't know. You would have to look it up.
Okay. I
already have 2 followers, 2 buddies, Shannon Larson and Dot Fender. They want to follow me when I do the 100th resort.
Hey, honestly, I may join you there. So I'll catch up with you in the...
I really don't want that to be celebrated. I just want to go up all by myself and just do it, and that's it, and prove it that I was there. And I'm not making this up. This is my documentations.
I believe you.
I have them all recorded.
Yeah.
I got them all recorded. At the bottom, at the sheet number 4 says, how can I prove I skied all these resorts? And then the other paragraph is, why did I do that? I had no plans to do that until I reached about resort number 70, 75. It dawned on me, I could do 100 maybe someday. And I was very successful in doing 3 resorts on one day in Michigan, another 4 on one single day. Last winter, 5 resorts way up along Lake Superior in 2 days. And now it was four areas: Wild Mountain, Trollhaugen, Coffee Mill, and Whitetail Mountain,
Whitetail Ridge.
Whitetail Ridge.
The whitetail is here, and in the northeast, it's a tiny
Whitetail.
mountain here near Washington, D.C.
It is Whiteface.
Yeah,
I hiked that one.
yeah,
Isn't that the mountain where the highest wind velocity was recorded?
yeah. That's different. So I'm near Washington, D.C. So the Whitetail Mountain is in Maryland. What you're
Maryland.
talking is the Washington Mountain. That's over at in Maine.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. That's where the weather in the winter is horrible. The winds are crazy, and every year somebody dies there because they try to ascend and they don't realize how cold and how windy it is. No, that's way north. In fact, 2 weeks from now, the kids have spring break, so we're probably gonna try to catch a snow out there in the north.
Yeah.
They still have a snow there.
Okay, whitetail. It's named after the deer, white-tailed deer, I suppose.
It is. Yeah. Maryland here has a very rich Native American history, and so I think the mountain is named. I think it's a Native American name, the Whitetail.
Yeah. So. Interesting. Yeah. Hey, there's so much we could talk about skiing. I mean, it's.
Well, I will catch up with you in the fall because I really want to see if I can make it.
Yeah, I have no plans yet, really. My neighbor is a snowboarder, Steve. He wants to join me. I said, well, you're a snowboarder, Steve.
Next thing you know, there's going to be a big crowd following you. I don't think you want that.
I don't want anything of that. I'm not a public speaker. If the TV cameras show up, here is Mr. Karl Landl.
That would be a good thing. So let me ask you a crazy question. I mean, you're healthy. You may live till you're 100. Would you still ski when you're 100?
I know people. Do you know Klaus Obermeier?
No.
Obermeier Fashion in Aspen.
He's
a Bavarian. He is very famous in ski fashion designs. He is age 104. He still skis every day.
Oh my God, I gotta go see him too.
Yeah. He had the best reputation for jackets, ski pants, this and that. A great fellow. And age 100. There are some other ones. I received a video from a friend of mine up in Traverse City. He filmed a guy at age 100 skiing down Knobs Knob up in Michigan, way up north. So these guys are out there. I have a friend who calls me frequently from our ski club, Hank Schmidt, an Austrian. And he's a bullshit. And he always cautions me, Karl, be careful. When you look at the obituaries in the newspapers, most people die at age 85, and we are right in there, he says. Be careful.
You're not there anymore. You're 88 now. You passed that.
But my relatives, they all ended up in the 90s, pretty much. My sisters, brothers. I lost my parents at a very young age. I didn't know them. My dad was killed basically by a horse stepping on him, on his chest. And it was the horse freak. A choo-choo train came along and the horse startled. They both fell down. It was in the wintertime, icy. He would have survived had it happened now. My mother had a goiter. She received too much anesthesia. Never woke up from it. Everything was primitive at that time. 1941 that was. I mean, it was nowhere what we have now. You know, everything was primitive. I mean, it's like we. I mean, doctors. Where was the doctor? Far away sometimes. That is my biggest fear. If I would go back to Austria, where do I find the doctors? All my doctors are here, part of the Northwest Community Hospital. They are within 25, 30 minutes away maximum. If I have an urgency, I could come in tomorrow or now. Doesn't exist in Austria. There's a lack of doctors.
Mm.
If you go to assisted living facilities, what I heard, all the nurses are from Ukraine, Polish, Slovakian, from all the Eastern countries, because there's a lack of qualified nurses.
Mm.
It's extremely difficult, and I'm so afraid. I would be so afraid of that when you have a problem and you don't find a doctor. And where am I, having been overseas for since 58 until now? I do get Social Security. I get a little money amount, $140 a month, because I worked in Austria for 6 years. I served in the military for 9 months. I worked from 52 until 58. And I was told if you buy additional private insurance, supplement insurance, you would be at the very top. You would be taken care of immediately. That's what I heard from some people. But still, then where are they? 30 miles away in the winter, drive through in the wintertime in a snowstorm. And you have an emergency. It's a tough life. But people don't think much of that. That's how they grew up.
Well, dear, thank you. Thank you so much. I think that's
Well,
all.
I hope you got something out of me.
Oh, we got plenty. It was fascinating. I will find you in the fall. I hope that you have a wonderful next season, that you have a wonderful gliding season this summer.
Yeah.
And stay active and keep skiing.
Well, I have a problem. We had an accident at the glider port.
Mhm.
And a student pilot and the flight instructor did something foolish. The student pilot up front injured his ankle. And he was smart enough to sue the club for $1.1 million. And because of that, the club was rejected by the insurance company for some time. It was questionable whether or not we could even continue in the future, but we were reinstated. But now everything is very strictly controlled. Don't do this, don't do that, don't step on that grass here. If you see something, say something. And I was told, Karl, they said this arbitrary number 80, I'm not allowed to fly solo anymore. What a BS that is. It's me and another guy. If I want to fly, a flight instructor has to come with me, or a commercial pilot.
Mhm.
And that upset me a little bit, that I don't feel much, that I feel I don't want to do much work for the club anymore that I used to do. I got just ticked off.
But you're still flying.
I can still fly, yeah. I always have somebody with me, looking over me.
Mhm.
Having had 50 years of experience, but doesn't mean anything. And I know two guys who had a heart attack up in the air, flying a glider.
Mm.
One, John, with his brother, landed safely, was treated, came back again, still flying, but he's over 80 and not allowed to fly solo. Another guy was a Swiss pilot. He was much younger. He was in the 60s. He didn't belong to our club, was some other club. So anyway,
Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank
story.
you so much, Dr.
Thank you for sharing all your wisdom, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to say one thing. I always feel isolated when I'm with a group of people. I cannot talk about my skiing experiences. I cannot talk about my gliding experiences, you know. So I shut up.
But you did such a great job here. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.